Hello and welcome everyone to the online workshop of architectural storytelling via Twinmotion. Uh, I hope I am audible. So, yeah. So, uh, so I am your host Pranami Bharali. So I am an architect and I am a BIM specialist here at Capricorn Technology. So welcome everyone to the online workshop of Twinmotion. So let me just go you through for the program details. Before that, I would like to thank each and every attendees here for joining us today. I hope the session is useful for all. I hope you get to learn a lot from us. Okay. So for the program details, so for our opening session will be done by Amit Kumar sir. So he is the senior chairman, vice chairman of Capricorn Technology. So he'll be joining us for the opening session here. Then for the workshop, me myself Pranami and in here we have Soma also. So we both will be taking the online workshop of Twinmotion today. So throughout the whole session, we'll be keeping the Q&A open so that you can post your queries. You can ask us any queries that you have regarding the Twinmotion, and we'll be happy to answer you. Right. So the Q&A session is always open, and we at the end of the session we'll be answering each and every question. So please drop the questions. All right. So, and again, at the last, we'll be talking about the details. We have two training programs here. That is the Beam for Design and Beam Guru, where we even teach Twinmotion here. So we'll be talking about the details of these two programs at the last. So this is our program details for today. So for the opening session, so we have Amit Kumar Jain sir here. So, sir, are you connected? Okay, sir is not connected. So just give us a moment. He'll be here. Just give a minute. Uh, sir, are you here?
Yeah, hello, Pranami. Sorry, I was a bit late. I'm really sorry to you as well as to all our friends who are there on this workshop today. So, welcome all of our friends. Happy New Year to all of you, and Happy Lodi to all of you as well. It's not that chilly in Delhi, but good weather, and there's a festival also in Delhi. Happy Lodi to all of you. So today's workshop is around something what maybe every one of you would be wishing, would be hoping that it should be there, part of your BIM workflow or Revit. Now you can get, if I'm not wrong, multiples, or maybe I would say millions of rendering options within your Revit, within your BIM workflow. Correct, Pranami?
Yes, sir. Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
So Autodesk has just introduced or included Twinmotion part of Revit workflow or part of Revit. So that will be I think ease out some of our I would say visualization or presentation challenges. So our team Pranami and her team colleague will take you through this presentation, wonderful presentation or workshop. Let's make it interactive. You may ask any question, anything during the workshop, and maybe even after that, or maybe even after even later on. So let's start this, Pranami. Let's let's make it exciting. Okay,
Yes, sir.
show something exciting which your friends say wow. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sure,
Okay.
sir.
All the best, and thank you very much. For coming on this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So, so today we'll be starting with the session then. So before starting, I would like to let you go through our company, that is Capricorn Technology. So Capricorn is India's leading design and construction management technology solution provider for the AEC industry. So we serve 20,000 plus Indian customers, and we have 40 plus BIM experts here. So the Capricorn has now become a global company, that is the WinZero company. So US CAT from US, and Capricorn from New Delhi, then Cadline from UK, and A2K from Australia has merged together to become a global company. Okay, so this is a brief about our company. Then next we'll be starting with the webinar then. So as I said today, for the architectural storytelling via Twinmotion, I'll be taking the webinar, and along with me, I have Soma Baning. We both will be taking for the webinar. So at any time you have any queries, please feel free to post your questions at the Q&A. We'll be happy to help you in the middle also, and at the end also we will be answering each and every question. So please drop down if any questions you have. Okay, so for the goals of the webinar, so today for the Twinmotion, we have to see what are the capabilities of the Twinmotion, right? So Twinmotion, you have already, as sir said, that for the BIM workflow, we need to have a real-time visualization. So for the real-time visualization, we have Twinmotion now. So what is the capabilities? We'll be understanding its capabilities first. Okay. Second is what we have is that Revit files for the BIM workflow. As you all know, we are making our modeling in our Revit, right? So whatever Revit project that we are doing, we have to visualize that at a real-time visualization. So for that, what Twinmotion has done is that we can export our Revit files to Twinmotion. So we'll understand the workflow, how to do that, right? So for the Autodesk Revit and the Twinmotion, we have a very good interoperability. So accordingly, what we'll have is that we can sync each and every model, and whatever changes that we make in Revit, this will be reflected in the Twinmotion as well. So there is a direct link between your Revit project and the Twinmotion, the rendering software that you will be using, right? Then for this we'll be showing you how the direct link works, and how you can update each and everything that you are changing in model in the Twinmotion as well. So we'll be showing you live how to do that, and how you can lastly we'll be showing how you can create your different rendered views, and how you can create different videos, walkthroughs, panoramas, right? So the presenting part from the Twinmotion will be showing you there. So these are the goals of the webinar. So we'll be showing you, we'll be discussing first each and everything in the PPT, and then we'll be showing you live in the video as well. So for the starting, I would like to, so we'll be starting with the Twinmotion. So for that, I would like to call upon Soma here. So she's here with us. So she'll be starting with what is Twinmotion and what are its capabilities and everything. So Soma, are you here? Over to you.
Okay, thank you, Pranami, and good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Soma, and I'm also an architect, right? So I'll be starting off with the presentation here. Just allow me some moment. Yeah. So basically, many had queries that what is exactly a Twinmotion, right? So Twinmotion is a rendering software, right? But this rendering software, so as we have many rendering software, so what is the speciality of this particular software, right? So Twinmotion is basically a way of visualizing which is made easy, right? And this is specifically the power of imagination that you have, which you can bring it to life, and you can specifically, give a touch of reality to it. So Twinmotion is specifically a rendering software where it gives you a direct link with the Revit, and you can specifically, using the BIM model, you can render your element accordingly, right? So with the Twinmotion, you can instantly render your element, your drawing, and get a direct integration with your Revit, right? Now, there are many stages where we particularly create our plans, elevations, and every element, right? So those specific element, how do we interlink with the and get a clear-cut views and visualization, and how we can present it to our clients and stakeholders, right? For that, we need a rendering software which would gives us a direct link, or which would be evolving as the technology is evolving in today's phase, right? So rather than just simply creating a 2-point perspective drawings, or simply, just showcasing a model or a 3D views, we can, use this particular platform where we can get the rendering views, where we can create a panoramas, we can create a 360-degree views and VR. So one of the added facilities we'll see that is the creation of the VR. So all these specifically are encoded in this particular Twinmotion, right? So overall, if I have to describe it in one word, so it is a basically rendering engine, so capable of producing 3D visuals to a very high level of extent, right? Nextly, as I said, this Twinmotion, what does exactly it specifically brings you up here is that what it provides, right? So it basically gives you a real-time 3D views, right? All the 3D rendering views, high quality images that you would be specifically developing from your model, you can directly create those rendering views using your different perspective, using your different elements, right? Then you can create your panoramas. You can even create the process of a BIM process through the panoramas with different view arrangement and design requirements. Then you can even develop your 360 VR videos as we said, right? And then you can, all these particular things when you are creating, you can, create, and you can, use the time according to the basic timeline, and you can even get the time management property out here, right? So all this particular thing comes in a way where if I have to say that when you have to distinguish between two particular element, why do we need to or choose a Twinmotion, right? Because in primitive rendering softwares, you would see that there is the ray tracing software, right? So you must have used other softwares also. You have seen that how it takes a lot amount of time to develop your specific views or specific images accordingly, right? So you would be, providing into renders, and you would need to wait for a lot longer time to develop and create those views. But in Twinmotion, it is a real-time rendering, right? So when I say about real-time rendering, what we mean by that is that whatever you are rendering, it would particularly be the exact real-time images where you would see your trees, your grass, your, the material that you're using out here would accordingly be provided, right? So you don't need a rendering time. So it is 2 seconds to develop the rendering images, right? So a good level of rendering realistic photos, you can create it through here, right? Then this particular rendering engine is, built, is a free and easy to use, right? It is a click method where you can create this presentation quality element, and you can define it accordingly, right? You can even process it in your cloud platform also. You can, create links for them, the particular images or the videos that you're developing through this Twinmotion. So next we are having a quick video where it would show that what exactly a Twinmotion does and how easy it is to particularly work on this Twinmotion. import from any other software is very easy through the Twinmotion. Choosing material also is game of click. Providing vegetations, ground covers, right? If you have to develop any kind of human or pedestrian pathways, you can even generate light segment by clicking on the lights. So it is just a one click where you need to drag and drop your elements, right? There is a thousands of asset library which Twinmotion provides, where you physically need to not model your element and you can directly use it in your render process, right? So there is one of the interesting feature where you can specifically change the season. You can change the timeline of your element, right? So many will have knowledge of the VR, how does VR works, right? So there is a direct integration where you can VR images, but then we need a higher configuration of a system. Yes, so that is the quick overview of what Twinmotion does, right? And within clicks, how you can specifically work on this Twinmotion, right? So next we would be moving forward to the accessibility of the Twinmotion. What are the features of Twinmotion that we are having, right? And how we can, how this Twinmotion is a user-friendly element, right? So it is having a much user-friendly interface as compared to other elements where other softwares basically, right? So it is, as I said, it's a drag and drop element. Whatever element you feel like, whatever material you want to take on, you can simply drag and drop it out. The browsing of material is easy, right? You can go for the extensive library which Twinmotion is providing. You can even download your asset from there. And rendering is not a process out here. So it is a click of the element, right? So you would get a render image within a click of it. You would capture it and yeah, you got the image, right? So it just add life to a still image within the drag and drop of your asset, right? There is the many vehicular movement. You can even go for your pedestrian movement. You can show the density of your element. So all these are specifically within the click, and you can specifically change the weather, season, and time of the day by accordingly within the click of your, right? So next we are having that what are the asset, one asset and many users, right? So what this particular Twinmotion provide is that it provides you a still images, right? So whatever you are developing or you are creating the scenario or the images, it provides you the still image of those, right? It gives you the interactive experience. So interactive experience and environment, basically here you would be creating, you can define your environment according to the project or the model that you are developing, according to the need of your design, right? You can define and design the interface in that manner, your environment basically. Then it gives you an immersive experience where it is a flawless and seamless way of working here. You can, integrate your element, your, the materials, the vegetations, the weather, the climate, you can emerge and you can create an immersive experience through it. And it gives you a linear input, output, and according to the input that you are providing. So it gives you a single linear input accordingly, right? Now, why people can say that why do we prefer the Twinmotion? What is the benefit? Because since we all are working on the BIM environment, we are developing the models to BIM. So the BIM rendering or the Revit, if I have to say specifically Revit, is not up to the scale, right? So we have the Twinmotion and Revit interoperability, where you can specifically link your Revit model directly to your Twinmotion. And that link is something where you make any changes to your Revit model, it would directly be synchronized and it would be updating in your Twinmotion interface, right? So that is the direct link that it provides. So we have various method of linking process. So we have the direct link, we have some export to datasmith file, right? So the direct link has specifically been upgraded newly. So that is one of the advantage which creates a link between the Revit and your Twinmotion interface, right? So any changes that you want to do at any particular point of time, the material, let's suppose you want to change in kind of material, the interface, or maybe add, let's suppose you want to make any kind of changes in your model. So you do so, and that would be integrated in your Twinmotion within a click out here. So this gives you the design and visualization process in a much smoother way and in a much faster way. So Revit to VR in 2 clicks only. So it is basically just the linking way. So you link any of your CAD or Revit file to Twinmotion, and through the Twinmotion, you can get your virtual reality, right? So the synchronization is much faster. The cutting out of element is much faster, right? The designing that you're specifically creating, it is, making in a way that which suits the environment, and it creates 1,000 of your element and the properties that you want to inherit in your project, right? So high quality imagery experience you get, right? The view or the final product that you get here. So that is the high quality rendered image it gives you. You can even go for your animations. You can create your panoramas. You can create your interactive 360 videos. And yes, we also have the VR presentation where you can develop scenes from Twinmotion, right? And you can share it in your cloud or via the URL. You can even create a link for the same, right? Next, we'll come to the configuration, the system configuration that you required to run the Twinmotion. So this is the bare minimum requirement that we would be discussing here. So on an average small project, it would be lesser than a GB geometry data, right? So 3D presentation videos or any kind of video in the HD mode, it requires all the image format for up to 4K of image definition. You can create the video. So particularly with that configuration, where you have the graphic card to be of 6 GB, right? Where you need to dedicate the 6 GB of memory card, and you can have the benchmark score of 10,000 with the latest driver that is available. We have the CPU processor, which is also need to have the benchmark score of 2000 and higher of that. System memory is of 16 GB RAM or more, right? And we have a hard drive space that you need to have a 30 GB of free disk space, right? So to create all this specific, you need to have the configuration, and then you can develop your rendering element, right? So again, this is the start of video, how you can download your Twinmotion and how you can access your Twinmotion. So this is again an Autodesk, which is giving. So you can go to your Autodesk website and you can, search for the Twinmotion for Revit. You can download that particular element, right, that we have for the Twinmotion. So you can click on the access and you can download for the Twinmotion. You can install this specific software that is specifically a Twinmotion for Autodesk Revit we need to give. So there would be some views and terms and condition where you can accept, and you'll be getting your Twinmotion, which would be downloaded here, right? So downloading the Twinmotion gives you the direct access. So whenever you install the particular software, right, it gives you the direct access in your Revit atmosphere, right? Revit interface. Just like the Dynamo, where now the Dynamo is also integrated here. Similarly, the Twinmotion also would get integrated once you download it. And in Revit 2023, if you open, you would get under the View tab, you would get the Twinmotion linkage out there, right? So if I just open any of the model sample project, maybe you would see here that if I go to the view tab out here in the 3D view, and then I switch to the view tab, you would see that we have the direct interoperability of the Twinmotion, where you can specifically link, open the file, export any kind of setting, and you can define that with the help of the Twinmotion. So that is the basic overview or the brief interface of the Twinmotion. So we'll be taking over through the live demo, how you specifically you would be using the software and how you would be linking it through your Revit, and you would be linking it through the Twinmotion, and you would be rendering. So Pranami would be giving you the workflow and would be describing the basic interface out there. Over to you, Pranami.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so much.
Soma. So we'll be going to the live interface now. So just give me a minute. Let me share my screen. Okay, so for the Twinmotion, we need to have certain uh, like plugin should be needed. That is your datasmith plugin. So for that, what we can do, we can just type a plugin directly plugin to Revit. Okay, so I'll just type it here and you will see a plugin will be needed. So that for plugin will be useful for your Revit file also, or other CAD files also. So I'll just let you go through it. So you can see I have typed it here, and you have for different operating system for the Windows and iOS also, right? Then you will see you will have specific plugins for the 3ds Max and other softwares, as you can see. So you can go through it, and specifically we'll be doing for the Revit here. So I'll just go to the drop here. Yeah, you will see we have specifically for the Revit also. So you can see it is compatible with Revit from Revit 2018, and this direct link will be working accordingly, this function. So we will go to the download option from here. And after that, after this, you will see this datasmith exporter for Revit will be like on, and you can download the plugin from here. After downloading this plugin, you will see it will automatically come in your Revit. So now you can see, so this is a sample model. You can see in the view, in the view tab, you can see we have the Twinmotion here. So now you can like switch on this Twinmotion from the drop down, and you will see you can directly open your project in the Twinmotion as well. So, and you get this second option, as you can see, this is a direct link synchronize. So what does it means is that whatever you are updating, any changes that you are making in the Revit project, right, in your RVT file, that will be updated any elements. So in Revit, you know that we work with different building elements, everything is there. So if you change any element from there, it will be directly updating in your Twinmotion also, right? So we will select this direct link, right, and we can change it. So right now, what I'm doing is that I will be making a link. I am starting a project right now. Since I'm starting a project, I need to create that link first. To create that link, you have to just select the direct link option in the view tab in Twinmotion. After that, you can open your Twinmotion. You can say this is your Twinmotion, right? So you can see this is the interface of it, right? From there, if you just see at the left side, in your left side bottom, you will see we have the first option of import from here. So we can import the file, and accordingly you can see we have four options here. One is the geometry. So geometry will include no link is there, you will just import your file accordingly. Then since as I said, we will be creating a linkage between your Revit file and this Twinmotion, so we will choose this option of direct link from here, right? Then you have the point cloud and everything from here. And from the direct link, you can see I have chosen that file, that is your Revit RAC basic sample project. And accordingly, you can see we have this option of different options like lighting settings and everything. Whatever you are using at Revit, you can keep it here also. And then we have the option of your materials also. Do you want to keep your Revit materials and all, or do you want to provide new materials in the project accordingly? So accordingly, you can choose from the options here and import the model here. So now you will see, after selecting here, this direct link processing will be updated, and the model that was there in my Revit file, you can see it is updated here, right? You can see it is imported, and accordingly, now you can see we have different, we'll be coming to the interface, but you can see we can we get that option here. The Revit file is came, like, then we will be talking about the basic interface, that is a orbit, look around and everything. So before coming to that interface portion, I wanted to show you, as I was talking about that, uh, anything that you were deleting or updating in your Revit file, that will be updated here, right? So just look around, you can see the whole file with the site settings and everything, all your site plans and everything, it is coming here, right? So now you can see here, in here, I'll just delete these trees that I have here in the Revit file. You can see I am deleting each and every trees here from here. So now if I just, you need to do one step process in here, one click process that we call in Twinmotion. So Twinmotion is very easy in the sense that each and everything that you are doing is just one click, two click or three click process. So in here also, you are updating anything here. So you're updating, maybe you're deleting the trees that you don't need in your Twinmotion file. So I just deleted that. And now I'll go to the view tab. As you can see in the Twinmotion panel, I'll just select this direct link synchronize. That is a one step, right? I'll just select this. You will see I'll selected this, and I will now go to my Twinmotion, and you will see automatically this direct link will come and it will synchronize, right? And my trees are deleted from here. So what happens is that it becomes easier for you. It becomes, since a direct link is there, it's become easier for you to update things again. Like, you don't need to save, or you don't need to go and maybe import it again and again. So anything that you are doing in the, maybe in the Revit also, you're modeling your structure, and again you want to create your renders also at the same time. So what will happen is that you can use this synchronize method, and you can update it regularly, right? So it becomes the workflow, I would say the workflow becomes easier for you. Now, as you can see here, so if I talk about the basic interface, right? So for the basic interface, you can see this is the model that I have, right? So this is the model. So in this model, now you can see, if you just look at the top portion, so it is giving you a, just like if you have used maybe if you have done gaming or anything. So what do we do for moving forward and maybe stepping back or right or left? We use the W, A, D and S, right? That is our move command, and accordingly to move up and down, we use the Q and E. You can see in the, in here you will be seeing all your options will be there, which becomes easier for you to scroll around and everything, right? So you can orbit, you can pan and everything accordingly, right? So I'm just moving out, then I'm using this option of speed. As you can see, we have the option of speed from 1 to 6, and accordingly, when you maybe type 3, 4 or 5, accordingly what will happen, it will scroll, like zoom in and out accordingly at the specific speed, right? Okay, so as you can see, so I'm just scrolling in a bit, right? Okay, so that is our basic commands that are, you are scrolling and everything. Then first option, if I come to take about your import. So import, you have got the idea. Of course, you can even import 2-3 files together. If I mean by 2-3 files, that you can import maybe your structural model directly, and then maybe you're importing the same landscape model also, right? So you can import 2-3 files accordingly, and this import will be coming here, each and every file. Then next, if I talk about that is our context that we say. So in the context, what we have different kinds of pathways, vegetations, and urban landscape. So for the urban landscape, as you can see, the at the background you can see maybe a city script, you can see it. So you can change everything accordingly. So now if I go to my vegetation, you can see we have the library here. So this extensive library, what does it have? A lot of trees and every kind of vegetations will be there. So as I think Soma said in the PPT also, it's a simple drag and drop. Okay, so if I say about drag and drop, is that you just have to choose the material or any elements that you're putting. So I just drop it at the site. Okay, so it's just a one click process. So the interface, if you have like used other also, like sometimes the interface is becoming too complex for you, so maybe you get stuck, or maybe you have to learn the interface and everything to take out your renders, or right. So in this year, so it's very easy. Even if you like explore a bit also, you will get to know how to do it. So a simple drag and drop here. So now you can see we have the vegetations and everything. You can put different grasses and everything accordingly. And as you can see here, then we have the urban landscape. So what is the urban landscape here is that right now my like model is placing somewhere, right? Somewhere in middle of nowhere. But suppose you want to place your project in the appropriate place that you want to place, right? Their site is located somewhere. Maybe if I say, let me just type maybe Noida or maybe Delhi itself. In here, you will see it will show you the map accordingly. And like a block model, it will show you the surroundings. So you can grab those area wherever your site is. You can grab that area using this grab command in the right side, as you can see. You can grab that area, and accordingly you can place your project, your site there, and the surroundings area will be coming. Okay, in a very block model. Then you have different settings for, right? So before going to the settings, I'd like to show you this kind of pathways are there. So as you can see, we need to make what is our like goal here. You have to make a real time, right? You have to make a real time rendered image you are making here. And the second is that you're when you're creating different renders, you need to bring life to your project, right? Whenever we talk about life, it will be mostly about the vegetations and everything, then real looking materials and everything, and of course your different vehicles or different characters, right? That is your humans and everything. So what you can do is that you can use this option of character, maybe vehicle and everything, and you can sketch out the path here. You can see character path. So I'll choose this ink option accordingly, and I'll just drag it. You will see I'm just dragging it, and I'm clicking where what is the pathway of the people I need, right? Accordingly, you can see after selecting, maybe this is the pathway that I need. And after that, you will get a bunch of different options that you can explore, right? So you can change the type of humans that you're using, multi-humans, right? Maybe like different genders and everything. Then you have the option of street clothing and everything. Maybe you want to change the clothing, right? Then we'll be going for the width option here. You will see that. So basically I'll just select this width option. You will see you can see the width is 2 meter. Accordingly, I have changed it to 7 meters or anything. So accordingly it will change. You can change the density also, right? Then you can choose this option of walk off also. Accordingly, the people will be not seen here, and you can just delete this if you don't need. So just a very easy process where you have to just click and drag your mouse accordingly. You have the same for the vehicular also. Okay, so vehicular also you can do this. Okay, then we have different settings of your rendered images, maybe light and everything you can see. For weather also, you can see we can control the weather just by one click only, as you can see. I'll just scroll out. You will see for the seasons weather you can change it. Now I'll change the weather now. So from sunny to rainy, then maybe snowy. You will see that, right? Then yeah, I'll change the season to snowy right now. Yeah. According to the seasons also you will have what? You will have different trees, and those trees will also act accordingly, right? So you can change those tree growth and everything also if you see in the right side. Okay, then we have different more settings for the wind speed and all. So since you're making a real time rendered images, right? So for the wind speed, maybe for the videos or the panoramas that you're creating for the videos, you need to provide the wind speed and everything accordingly. Your trees will work, right? And the leaves, you can see the direction and all, you can provide it, smog and everything. So a bunch of options are there. Okay, so I'll just change back my season and to okay. So now you can see we can create images also in from here, panoramas, videos and all. You can see for presentation we can make for drone view also maybe, right? Yeah, then this is this export option. So from the export option, so as I said, to create your render you don't need to wait for long time here. Just one click is enough for here, and each and every rendered images that you are creating, you need to export it accordingly, and accordingly you can store it in your Twinmotion cloud also accordingly. Okay, so yeah, this is the export option. You can see different images will be coming. Yeah, so this is the library. As you can see in the library you will have a bunch of options, as you can see. So you have different objects, lights and everything. You can we have the Sketchfab also. You can download stuff from there, and accordingly you can see this is the new where you can save the file and everything. In the right side you will see each and every scene and whatever fixtures and everything you are using, or roofing materials and everything. You can switch it off also if you don't like. You can see this little eye option that we have, so we can switch it off in any case we don't like, and if we use it we can switch it on accordingly. You can replace the material also from here. Okay, so in this option you will see it for the time of the day. You can control it, or you can directly type the time also in there. So I'm just controlling with the bar right now. Okay, then we have is that we have the different option of flies and everything, right? So pedestrian mode, which mode you want, maybe drone mode you want, right? Any mode that you are using, so you can view your project accordingly, right? Okay, so yeah, so you can see next we have different plans, sections, elevation. It will be coming there. So this is the basic interface, I would say. This is the basic interface. So after doing your basic interface, I would like to say, as an architect or as an interior designer, what you will have. You want to make your uh, rendered images of particular, maybe the whole project, or maybe each and every space, the rooms that you have, right? So what I will do is that to show you broadly how to do this. So what I will do is that right now I'm selecting this kitchen that I have. So in this kitchen I will like show you how to put your own materials, how to change your materials, how to give the scaling and everything accordingly. Okay, so what you can do is that you can just scroll into any room that you want. So maybe your bedroom, or maybe the living room that you want to do. For this example, I'm just showing you for the kitchen. So for in the kitchen, you can see in the library, you have a bunch of materials. You can see glass, metal, and different woods and everything, right? So you can explore this. After exploring, you will see you need you just need to drag and drop, right? So this is the eyedropper, as you can see. So this eyedropper, what does it does? It will select that material accordingly, and it will show you what material is there accordingly. You can see terrazzo is there. And now if you want to change that material, you can just drag and drop it. Okay, so this is the marble and granite folder that I'm opening up, and you will see a bunch of materials are there, right? You can change the color also at later stage. Yeah, so I'm just dragging and dropping it, right? So you can drag and drop it accordingly, you can see. Yeah, so it's very easy, just drag and drop the materials. Okay, so maybe now I'll go to the other tiles also. Different tiles are there, so I'm showing you different kinds of marbles, tiles, everything will be there, so you can explore this. You can see different metal surfaces are also there. So this is the library that I was talking about. So let me just put a good stone at the background, right? Yeah, so you can just maybe for a preview also, you can just hold your mouse and go over to that surface. Okay, you can go over to that surface and you can see, uh, just to get a look how the material will look there. You don't need to like you don't need to leave your mouse, so just drag, don't drop it, just drag and see how the material will look at that surface. And after that, what you can do, if you like the material at the surface, you can just drop it, and if you don't, you can choose the other material. So it's a very simple process. Now you can see I have used this text stone number 2, and accordingly this stone has been placed at the you can see at the background, right? Now after placing that any kind of material, you will get different certain different features, certain different settings related to it, right? So in the settings now, what can you see? You have different colors, maybe the color of the stone that you're using, you want to change it, you can go for that, right? And then you will have different, you can see roughness and all, I can control it accordingly. Then even you can change the scale also, you can type the scale here maybe, and maybe you can go for the drop down here. Yeah, yeah, you can just drag it to change the scale. You can see now the scale, you can change the color. You have different options here for the glowing also. So the glow will not work obviously in here, but you can see accordingly you have different options here, right? So this is the kitchen view that I was talking about. Then let's explore a little more. So in the material library, you will see we have different ceiling, right? So for the ceiling, let me put, yeah. So you can explore for the ceiling also in here. Yeah, you can go for the eyedropper option and you can just place it directly. Okay. So again, if I scroll down, you will see we have different options of what, like if I go to my library, I have objects also. So in the objects, you can see certain doors and all also, if you want to put it here accordingly, right? Then you have different accessories. If I talk about accessories, you will have maybe your kitchen accessories and everything. So why do we need this? Because to detail it out, right? So maybe to give a life to your rendered image, to your still image, so you need to put some light, so everything is like there in your library. Accordingly, you can give some cabinets also to place it, just drag and drop it, right? Accordingly the surface will be chosen. So make sure while you are doing, you can see I can stretch it out a little and everything. You can move it accordingly in your X, Y, and Z axis, right? And give the numbers accordingly. Okay, so any cupboard that you want. Right now, you can see when I'm at this area, you can see it is placing here, which is something I don't want, right? So make sure you are at the correct place. You can see something like this position it has been placed, right, which is not correct. And you can even choose to give the cabinet width and everything that you want to choose. So I'll just delete this for now. Maybe I'll use another one. Okay, okay, so what I will do, I'll just scroll a bit. Let me use the white one maybe. Yeah, I'll just delete this and go for this one, cupboard, right? now I can change the width and everything accordingly, and I can place it at this side also. So these are for the detailing. Or in case you are not placing anything in your any furnitures or anything you are not placing in your Revit project, right? So you can directly, after making the modeling part, you can directly come in Twinmotion and you can place it, right? So as you can see, the placing in here, it's not that tough. You can just drag and drop your different uh options, right? So you can drag and drop your furnitures and it will be placed here accordingly, right? Okay, so for this one, you can see even you can change the X and Y, everything that you just need to scroll in a bit and make sure it's at the right area, and you can use the keyboard option. Okay, now you can see for any kind of kitchen, if you want to detail out other things also, you can detail out with simple things like your plates and everything, right? To make your kitchen more livable, right? You can place your different, maybe your sink and everything, glasses and everything that you want to place. Okay, so you can see we have this option of download, so you can download it accordingly. Maybe from the sketchfab also you can download it and you can place it here. Yeah, so for more detailing, you can go for food and everything, chairs, everything. For kitchen, for each and every specific room, you can see we have specific objects accordingly, and you can place it. So now to bring more life, maybe we can provide some plants and everything, right? So under vegetation and landscape, you will see we have this landscape will be generally put in the outside area, right? So you can see accordingly we have trees and everything. Right now we'll need plants, small plants. Sketchfab, you can see, as I was talking about the sketchfab, you can download different objects from here and you can place it here. Yeah, so next you can see that under the materials also we get this grass options and everything. So I'm just letting you through different vegetations that we have, you can see, right? So these are small plants that we can use it for. Maybe in our kitchen we want to provide some plants and everything, right? So now if I go inside here, so in the accessories you will get different vases and everything. You can go for different vases. Okay, or maybe you can directly type it also accordingly. I'll just type vase here, and yeah, and you can see different options will be there, and you can download it and you can place it here. Okay, until and unless you don't download it, it won't be placing. And you can see you can scroll and you can see it is placing directly, and accordingly you can move it wherever you want. So your gizmo is there, accordingly you can place your different vases and everything. Okay, so so I'm just detailing it out. This is a portion of your detailing, right? So you can provide other also, others, if I say maybe your kitchen appliances also. Right now in this project I had this oven and everything, so maybe you will be placing it out. So the, as you can see, the difference is that any materials that you are using, so any materials that you were using, what it is happening, all your different materials are a very good rendered images, right? You can see I can change the colors and everything accordingly, right? I can place the plan that you want, and you can change the size also, right? Accordingly it will be placed here. So I'll just scroll in the bushes and everything. You can see I can place it and give the sizes and everything. So to, yeah, so you can explore the different kinds of vegetations that we have, right? Okay, so yeah, I'll just scroll out a bit. Okay, now maybe at the side also let me use. Okay, so I'll just go for the base again, and you will see that I can just drag it around, and I can drag it around and I can place it. Okay, I'm just dragging it and placing it accordingly. Okay, so you can even use the gizmo to change the coordinates, right? Maybe X, Y, and Z, and even maybe the vase that you are placing there. So for that also, if you want to change the material accordingly, you can go for the eyedropper there. And that eyedropper, what it will do, it will select that material, maybe this glass frosted, as you can see, glass frosted. And that glass frosted will, you can see, I'm just placing this different vases there. And okay, object creation, it just takes a one click process to do, to detail out your surfaces, right? Okay, now maybe I'll go for any plants here, and I will put it in my vases. Okay, so you can do this for, you can see I can change the sizes and everything accordingly, and it will be placed here. Yeah. Okay, so this is a detailing process that I'm doing maybe for vegetations and all. Maybe uh, you're placing different kinds of furnitures, right? Then you can even go for your bedrooms and everything. You can go for different shelves that you want to put, then different shelves, then different beds and all, to detail out the objects. So materials and everything, it will be provided. Along with materials, you will get different objects also. Okay, now you can see something like this. Okay, so I'm just going for the vase again, and I can place it accordingly. Okay, so again for this, this is a vase that I have done right now. But again, for your lighting and everything, you can go for that. So for example, you are putting your different light fixtures also. Maybe you're putting your light fixtures in your Revit model, right? In your Revit model, and you can place it accordingly, right? Okay, so you can see I have placed different plants here, and accordingly I can move around, and you can see that this kitchen view has been placed, right? So you can adjust it accordingly, and after adjusting, you can export your images. Okay, so before that, I'll just go to the, I'll just type maybe illumination or light here, you will see. Okay, or in the light section, you will see that. So what we will do, you can see in this kitchen, we already have this light there. So we need the illumination accordingly. You can see we have different lights here. So as I said that if you put your light fixtures in your Revit model, so that light fixtures will be coming in your Twinmotion, and after that you just need to give the glowing, right? So for that glowing, you can go for this light here, and accordingly it will act in your natural light also. If you don't need, you can switch that off, and for your at night view, if you want to switch that on, you can switch it on accordingly. Okay, so you can see I'll just put this light here, you can see, and it will be placed here, right? So you can even adjust it where you want. Okay, so I'm placing it in here, and after that you will see we can change the intensity of the light and all, right? You can see I can light on and off, as I said, according to the daylighting. You don't need the light, you can switch it off. You can see it can create wonders accordingly. You can see it will give you, you have a lot of options for the shadows and everything. So you don't need to control, as you can see, you don't need to adjust your illumination and everything. Just one click process. You just need to scroll and see how it will look, right? So this is for the lighting, as you can see, right? Then again, if I talk about others also, like you can put this lighting in your different, you can see, for detailing out, you can fridge and everything you will have, and accordingly it will be placed in your Twinmotion, right? Okay, so next you can see we have different characters also for bringing the life to your project. You can go for the different characters that you have, animals and everything, so detail it out. You can say now for creating any image, you will see for the creating or maybe exporting your different images, that the rendered images that you will be creating right now. What you can do is that it's very easy in the sense that you just need to go for the create image. You just have to scroll. Okay, you just have to scroll, and after scrolling, just you see that how you need your image, right? Accordingly you can align it also with the different tools. Okay, orbit it, maybe go for it, right? After doing that, what you can do, you can just have to do one option, that is your create image. Okay, as you can see, I am creating the image. You can change, you can go for the more option, or maybe change the focal length and everything, like, right? So you can align it also, how much lens flare you need and everything. Okay, different types also you have accordingly. And you can see for the visual state and everything, you can switch everything on accordingly how you need it. And just you have to go for the create image, right? And I'll just go for the maybe rename this. You can see I am renaming this as kitchen view from here. And after doing that, after doing for the kitchen view here, what I will do is that I can export these different images that I have, right? So to export it, this is also very easy. Exporting will just take you one step only. So different shadows, before exporting, just make sure your every lighting and every shadows that you need, that are switched on, right? And after taking the image, you can say something like this. If I want, I can go for the create image again. Different images you can create it in real time. Okay, maybe from this view also I will take one. Okay, so I'll just adjust it a little, and then I'll go for the create image. Okay, just one click, you can see all these are rendered image only. And now what I will do is that I'll just go for this option of what we say is that just export it. Okay, I'll just go to this export option here, and I'll select the view. Okay, I'll select it, and it will just take you some time to export the selected image. Okay, accordingly it will export it, and you will see, let me just open this folder where I have saved it. And after opening it, you will see that this is the image that has been created, right? Every material that you have chosen, right, with the color and roughness and everything, the glowing light that you have provided, you can see each and every plants and all. So a very good quality rendered image has been produced, and you can create multiples of images in very less seconds, right? Okay, so this is a for an interior one I have showed you, right? This for an interior, maybe for different uh uh different, if I say that your bedrooms, living rooms, you can put your curtains and everything, and for detailing it out, right? So you can provide that, and you can export images and videos accordingly. Okay, so this is the process. You can say this is one image, this is the second one, third one. As you can see, these are the different one I have given for the kitchen, right? So now this is for a small scale that I've showed you, for maybe a space. So for a space I have done this. So different rooms, you can create your different images accordingly. So now let's do for the exterior. So Soma will let you through for the exterior. So Soma, over to you. Are you here?
Yes, Pranami. Thank you. That was a really very insightful details that you have provided for your rendering view on that exterior purpose, right? So I'll just quickly share my screen and I would just give you the brief about it. So, okay, right? Okay, so for the exterior, so you have seen how we can work on the interiors, right? For the exterior also, whenever you are working, that would be specifically on a similar scale because you need to choose some specific material from here, all the material, the wall material basically. So you would be going for your wall coverings, you would be going for your roof coverings for the roof, you would be going for some glazing for the windows that you want to provide, right? So all these are your exterior material, and each and every element out here would have the specific amount of, scaling and element of color roughness you can provide, right? All those has been discussed, broadly. Now, for providing, let's suppose that I have taken this kind of imprint of the material that I want to provide. You can scale them up. You can, provide some roughness to it, and you can even change the color of that suitable material. So since whenever we develop any kind of renders, it is specifically you are telling a story to your client or the stakeholder, right? That need to be that much smooth and that much, you specifically need to develop that, right? So for that particular purpose, let's suppose that we have kept a theme of a neutral theme where we would be defining this particular space, right? So you can see that we have given a color of, some dark color or dark shade of the roof. And out here, we have kept the wall minimal where we have provided the lighter shade and the glass to be your less transparent accordingly, right? And you can see for the glass also, if you're changing the color for the glass, what you can do, you can change the opacity of it, you can change the tint of it, you can add a pinch of color also, if any color that you specifically want to change, you can change that also accordingly. So you can even, copy the color code that you are having for any specific color. Maybe, for example, you have taken up from the Revit, you want to specifically apply that color code. So you can even copy that color and exactly the similar type of color would be available to you, right? So you can copy it and you can paste and you can see changing the opacity, it gives you a usual tone of the glass with respect to all other objects, right? So in this way, we can work upon on the interiors and the exteriors accordingly, where you would see that we have specifically kept up the surface, right? You can provide some, wall textures that you want to require, right? So let's suppose I just want to create a darker tone on my trim or the frames that I am having. So I would specifically be using some darker tones. So you can directly select the Revit model from here, right? You can directly pick up the color from here and then you can change the color. So whatever color you require, you can directly change the color from the color palette out here and you can provide the any shade of color. So see, there are two ways of working on it. So one is specifically that you can apply the material, what is there. Another one is that you can change the material or the color of the material which you have inherited from any of the model that you have worked on, right? So any kind of element, so for example, some tiles that you want to place up here, right? So you can go and search for your tile option here and you can place the tile, you can change the scale, the color, the roughness of that particular area, right? So these are your small elements where you can, define it accordingly, right? You want to change some kind of wall texture, you want to go for, create some, some kind of wall roughness you want to provide, right? The tile roughness you want to provide, right? So all these things specifically you can do and you can make the changes, right? So let's suppose that if I want to go for some kind of masonry wall, right? So that is also available under the library where you can change the color, you can, provide the texture of that particular wall and you can apply that here. Now, one of the interesting changes thing is that you specifically don't need to apply it again and again to different phases, right? So once you put on the material, particular material, you can copy with the help of the eyedropper and you can specifically align those particular material on the surfaces that is required, right? So in this way, you can, create a, exterior render view. So exterior is basically depending upon the surroundings, the atmosphere that you are developing, right? The creation, or the, relatively your environment that you want, you can change those specific elements through under the exterior. So interior is very, very much detailing out of element, more of a detail element, and exterior is how you can cover up and create a perspective view accordingly, right? Now here you would see, since this is specifically giving you a landscape, so you can even change the landscape of from a flat to a rocky grassland, right? So that would even add some touch up of your mountains, of your some mounds that you want to prepare out here, right? As you can see here, so you can even control this terrain accordingly. Where you want some undulation, you can modify those undulation accordingly, right? The terrain that you are specifically preparing accordingly, you can do so, right? So for that, the some kind of lightings also, you can apply those lighting, some, images that you can take up on your sunlight views, right? Accordingly, you can add some for your green covers also through here. You can change the material, grass material, to your green covers, right? And then you can specifically change your add your vegetations accordingly, right? So in this way, you can specifically, create your outer scenario. You can create the outer scene that you specifically want to develop, and you can, add up to the type of the vegetation that you want to create, or maybe the type of the, material that you want to choose for each and every interface that you specifically work, right? Now here I would be adding some of the trees. So since I'm creating a scene here, and the scene is conceptually on a hilly area where you have seen that we have some kind of pitch roof. So I would specifically go for some kind of pine trees to add up to here, right? So different kind of pine trees. So it is not something that pinpoint you are adding one on one, right? We are painting this ground green, right, with the trees that is there. So it is somewhat, you can say that if painting is easier than rendering, then you can say you are specifically painting your images, you are painting your scenarios in your Twinmotion, right? So something of that sort. So you can just simply paint with the trees that has been provided here. You can search for the extensive library that is there. So you can, upscale the diameter of the trees, you can downscale the diameter, you can increase the density of your trees, that at what particular density you would be working for your trees, right? And in that way, you can specifically grow upon on your vegetation, and you can work on it, right? So these are the few basic thing where you would be working on it. So once we complete this particular area where you're done with your vegetation, you can, create some of your exterior phases where you would be adding your exterior elements, right? So that can be your light, right? So in the light, as Pranami also has emphasizes, that you can download it from the library that has been provided to you. So you can download the type of light that is available here, right? So you can download it, and you can use it to your particular project and building, and you can assign them. So if it is not been assigned in your from the Revit model, you can assign it here also, your particular models, your elements, and then you can add some illumination to it, right? So illumination specifically would be working if we create night renders, right? So you can have different type of lights that is provided. Maybe for the interior, you can add some chandeliers, you can add some kind of, element here, right? Then even for the light also, you have already seen we have different type of light, some neon light or spotlight, or maybe any kind of light that you want to fix here, right? This light would specifically be giving you the angle and the property where you can, distinguishly place the light for your glow and illumination here, right? So there are various phases of providing it and for creating those elements. So you can add those lighting element, and you can develop them accordingly. So once we add through the light, you can create your night renders. Now night renders, in your primitive softwares, you must have seen night renders specifically take a lot of time, where it you need to control the lux and luminosity of your light. But here you would see that within the click and application of your light, you can change the light intensity, the coolness, and the color of the light. You can even, bifurcate the angle of your placement of light, right? Then you can even play off with your shadow and haze, right? How you want to portray your light accordingly, you can play off with all those features which is provided for the light itself, right? So now being created and being provided the light, I would like to play up with the night rendering that is there. So you can see, you can change the timings of your specific rendering, the timings, and it would automatically be showing you the glow of features. So you can see this is not a rendered image. Right now, we haven't followed any process of render. This is the actual Twinmotion, what we are doing. So it is giving you such a bright quality of your realistic, photorealistic views right here. So with a different angle, you can capture those images. You can, take up your element properly, and you can capture your different views. You can create your panoramas and VRs accordingly, right? So accordingly, this was the basic element of your Twinmotion, where we have, worked on it, and we have projectified different views here. So you can see that these are the views that we have specifically worked here, right? So some of the night views we have taken, so different angles and different position we have taken the views. So some an aerial view, you can see we have created some kind of pedestration. So all these are elements which are available on the material library, some kind of forms and stones, and just to create a storytelling element. So building is more or less, it's something you are just telling a success story of your building, right? So, and to project it through a software and to present it to a client is one of the thing which many people want for, right? So with the help of the integration of the Twinmotion and Revit, you can create your easy views, the night views, some views of your, even you can change your seasonal views, right? Let's suppose we want to create, so since I tried playing with the weather and created some kind of snowy view, so that is also possible here, right? So different kind of view elements, or some kind of snowy view, so you can control the intensity of the snow. So as you see, you don't have to pinpoint every area and provide it. It would naturally give you those texture on your trees, where we have provided the snow, and on the roof, and even on the imprints of the footpath. So all those things are on a click away. So you can simply use it, and you can define your particular element, right? So that is how you work on your Twinmotion, and that is how you develop your particular views, your particular rendered your images accordingly. So this is what Twinmotion provides, creating your interior and exterior. Both ways you can work on it, right? And you can integrate your model, and you can develop your element. So that is all for the webinar, right? Anything that Pranami would like to add up to it?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Soma. So, before ending the session, obviously we would take each and everyone's Q&A. So please feel free to drop the questions, and we both will be happy to answer it. Okay. So, before going for the Q&A, in this moment, just drop your questions, and I would just like to let you through. I hope it's visible. We have two programs in Capricorn. So one is the BIM for design. So for the BIM for design is particularly for your individual professions, right? So for maybe your architects, civil engineers, even interior designers, even students that are there in their final year. So we give up, if you have your own project, a real-time project that you are working, even we provide you with the project. And after that, you, for the BIM workflow, you will be learning about that each and every softwares, like your Revit, your different Navis work for class detections, then your Dynamo and ACC. And even now we have integrated Twinmotion for your rendering. As we said that yes, for your client we need to give the final product. For the BIM workflow we need to learn for the Twinmotion as well. So we've integrated Twinmotion also in our BIM for design course. So the timings are very flexible. We generally do it after your office hours also. So for any queries for BIM for design, please feel free to contact us for more details also. This is for the BIM for design. Then we have another program called BIM Guru. So BIM Guru is generally for the architectural offices, structural offices, and every company. So this is not like BIM for design. This is mainly for like a contractual basis for 1 year, and accordingly what we do is that the times are very customizable, because according to the office, maybe if a office has already started the BIM, so maybe they're at the basic stage of it, maybe at the beginner stage of it, so we will help them to grow to their advanced stage. And if some firm is like they're planning to move to BIM, then we'll be helping them from the basic to the advanced as well. So this is very customizable program where we give trainings to their employees also. We do troubleshooting also. So any firm that are they're working on their specific project, we will be troubleshooting in their own project so that they can start with their Revit modeling and everything. Then we help them in their Revit families also, different building elements that they are creating, the firm is creating. We'll be helping them in their uh, families also. Okay, so this is for BIM Guru. This is generally for the offices, right? So these two programs are there. So if anyone is interested, they can like contact us for more. Yes, now moving to the Q&A. So most of your Q&A is being already answered, right? So as one very important one I have seen, like, is it compatible with your LT? As I have seen Revit LT, no, I think it is also answered in your answered also, but it is not compatible with LT because LT doesn't allow third-party plugins, so it is not compatible there. So for the BIM for design course, for any uh, other information, please feel free to contact us. We'll be providing you with other like questions, answers of, yeah, we help in placements also, and fees and everything. We'll be giving you the details so that you can go through it and let us know accordingly. So so before ending the session, so if there is any questions, please feel free to drop it in the Q&A so that we can answer the last questions that are there. Okay. Okay, so I hope most of your questions are already answered, right? So for that, yeah. So for that, we'll be ending the session then. We'll be ending the session for today then. Uh, Before ending, I would like to thank each and every attendees who have joined us today. I hope it was insightful for you, and I hope it was a lot learning process for you also, how it can be integrated in the BIM workflow. As you can see now, in the real-time visualization of Twinmotion, you can present your rendered images to your client also. So I would like to thank each and every attendees here. So we have Amit sir also with here. Sir, would you like to say something before ending our session?
Yeah, so I think it was a wonderful presentation workshop, Pranami. But I think our friends should, say whether it was wonderful, whether it was exciting, or is useful. So may I ask a couple of our participants or friends here, how was it? Just a feedback, little bit of live feedback, and maybe after this, anytime any one of you can connect with our team for any doubt, for any anything related to this Twinmotion, BIM, Revit, anything comes to your mind, you please then reconnect with us. So just couple of maybe volunteers may give some little bit of feedback how it is exciting, how it is going to unsolve like help our friends.
I think with in the Q&A, sir, we are getting an answer of wonderful. Yes, sir.
Okay. So based on the feedback, whatever feedback we receive from our friends, even if it is critical feedback, we definitely we try to improve all our future engagements, deliveries, workshops, content, everything. So we wish, maybe if not now, in later after this workshop, please give your feedback.
Okay.
So thank you. Happy Lodi again. Wish all of you, your colleagues, your family members, a happy New Year and happy Lodi. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So then we'll be ending the workshop there. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone.